the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
It's the front page news.
It's what's trending now.
Today we have Clay Kane, a journalist, political analyst, and talk show host on Sirius XM. He has a new book currently, a New York Times bestseller titled The Grift, the downward spiral of black Republicans from the party of Lincoln to the cult of Trump. Clay is here this morning to discuss the chaos surrounding the possibility of major changes on the Biden re-election campaign and also a recap of the Republican National Convention. Good morning and welcome back to the Rickey Smiley Morning Show, Clay Kane. Let's jump right into this, man. What do you think was the main takeaway from this week's RNC convention?
The main takeaway is that they are still full of lies. They are full of deception. They are more about performance, and they are hoping that their cult is going to follow them. And I would also add, as all that said, Republicans stick together no matter what. Republicans will stick by a twice impeached, disgraced, 34 felony counts, convicted felon. And that's a take. Regardless of how you feel about their policies, they stick together. And I think Democrats could at least, the wealthy donors, learn from that.
And Clay, this comedian special case. So on that same note, there's some rumbling, and this is only alleged, and there's some kind of rumor mill type stuff that corporate top tier Democrats are set to force Joe Biden out of this campaign almost within days. So now with plans to skip over possibly Vice President Harris to try to scramble for a replacement that they're gambling will have more appeal to white middle-class voters. To me, this sounds crazy 100 or so days out, like political suicide. What's your take?
Yeah, I got to tell you, my reporting, I'm hearing the same thing. And I have never seen or even heard of a political party eating their own the way they're doing Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Like you said, it's less than 4 months before an election, less than 2 months before early voting begins. 14 million people have already voted during the primaries. And I'll also say over the past 70 years, every time a president, an incumbent, has stepped down or resigned, it's resulted in the opposing party winning. And mark my words, if these wealthy donors do this, I believe if they kick out President Joe Biden, I do believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is next. And that would really decimate the black vote. I hope Democrats get it together and realize wealthy donors cannot be the people who overturn our votes. The Democratic Party can't be the party of Republicans want to overturn democracy, and they overturn the votes of 14 million people. Get on board. Stand by your incumbent. Show some kind of unity. But I think at the end of the day, this is also an attack on Vice President Kamala Harris. So don't fall for the bizarre polling and these news reports that it's all about Biden. A part of me tells me the wealthy donors, they don't want a black woman that close to the ticket.
Wow. Well, you know what? The Trump speech last night at the RNC has been described on one media outlet as rambling, weird, extreme, dramatic. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and it just the lies. Right. I mean, he was making up stuff about the economy. Trump gutted the economy just like Bush did, just like his daddy did. I mean, it was just lies, and more lies. And, you know, one of the things that I was thinking, you know, they're avoiding talking about Project 2025. And I know Trump says he doesn't know anything about that. But if you want to talk about truth, what Trump wants to do in a second term, they want to end overtime pay via Project 2025. They want to fire over 50,000 federal employees. And black folks, we disproportionately work in the federal government. They want to eliminate the Department of Education. Those are the things that they don't want to talk about. And I think it's heartbreaking that there was an attempt assassination on his life. But that does not mean we can no longer criticize him. That does not mean he's above critique. We still have to call them out. So I agree, and I'm glad to see mainstream media, if you will, trying to hold him a bit more accountable. But we know who he is. This man has made a career out of lying.
So, Mr. Kane, so how do you address the voters in our community that could, be falling for this Trump promises pockets full of money, cheap gas, groceries, and rent, and all this other madness that's being propaganda by what people are saying about what he's supposed to be doing?
Well, First of all, what I say, of course, things are tough, and we're still cleaning up what he did in his previous administration. But what happened to black communities when Trump was president? And I know folks like Sexy Red and Miss Netta have amnesia, but let me remind you, the black unemployment rate skyrocketed. Black businesses shut down at record numbers. Trump believes in the lie of trickle-down economics. It never trickles down. So much has to be done. And like Obama had to clean up Bush, Biden has to clean up Trump. And, Trump was inherited a good economy from Obama. Nobody ever talks about that. So I just want us to have some context. 4 years ago, where were we? It was hard to buy toilet paper. We were in the horror of COVID, waiting in line at grocery stores. So I would also add, what's their plan for fair housing, fair wages? They don't have that. And they're ignoring Project 2025, so people are falling for it. And I got to say, some of the fools on social media, look at that. If you got Amber Rose supporting Trump and Republicans, obviously something's wrong. I'm just saying.
That part right there, man. Yeah. Clay Cane, thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. How can people follow you and get a copy of your book?
Follow me on social media at Clay Cane. Book anywhere, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, online, and Google Project 2025. They aren't playing, and they are coming for black communities, especially in the South. They aren't playing. Thank you all. I appreciate you.
Clay Cane, appreciate you, big dog. Hey, if you couldn't get in today's topic, let us know your thoughts on Facebook or Instagram at Rickey Smiley Morning Show.